After an 8-year absence, Solid Snake returned in the third official Metal Gear game. While this game moved to polygonal graphics, it still plays from the overhead perspective of the 2D games most of the time. There are a few sections that play from different perspectives, and you can look around in the first person at any time. The goal is to sneak through the facility and avoid confronting the guards whenever possible. Guards will respond to noises that you make or footprints that you leave in the snow. You can use this to lure them away from their patrol route. Killing guards doesn't affect the game much, but it lowers your ranking at the end of the game, as does being seen by the guards. You can knock them out for a few seconds with a chokehold, though it's not always the most reliable of methods. There is a mini-map in the upper right-hand corner of the screen that shows the guard's field of vision, which helps make up for your limited field of view. There is a wide variety of weapons that Snake is somehow able to hide in his clothes. Most are real-world weapons, but the game also features electronics jamming chaff grenades and remote-controlled rockets. When this game was new, I thought the controls were just fine, but now I realize they are actually kind of clunky. Snake moves rather stiffly, and he can't walk. He always runs, which is not great for stealth. He can't roll or dive to reach cover, or even move while crouched. The textures are very detailed and realistic except for characters' faces, which are far less detailed. It's an art style choice that works surprisingly well. The mouths don't move, which was normal for games at the time, but seems strange now, especially since the game is so cinematic. Most of the cutscenes use the game engine, but occasionally live-action stock footage will be shown, which is slightly jarring. The animation is pretty good as well, except that Snake runs kinda funny. The sound is great. The voices are all very clear, the sound effects are realistic, and the music is excellent, especially the music during the end credits. The game is fairly difficult on normal, especially if you're trying to get a good rank at the end by avoiding confrontations. There are 2 difficulties above normal, and an easy mode. You play as Solid Snake, a retired special operations guy. He used to be a member of a unit called Foxhound. Well, now Foxhound has gone rogue and has seized an Alaskan military base containing Metal Gear Rex, the third in a line of giant walking nuclear missile launchers. The US government has no intention of giving in to their, actually fairly reasonable demands, so they kidnap Snake and force him to infiltrate the base and stop his former unit. They give him a special sneaking suit to keep him warm, drugs that suppress his stomach acids and keep him alert, and electro-binoculars, but no gun, because why would he need a gun? He's only infiltrating a fortified military base manned by dozens of the world's best soldiers. The story is complicated but easy to follow. The game also has an odd blend of gritty realism and off-the-wall silliness. The dialogue is, well, pretty dumb at times. It goes well when the characters are just delivering exposition, which is most of the time, but other times it becomes silly, cliched, melodramatic, and sexist. But the biggest problem with the story is the pacing. It would probably work well as a novel. In fact, there is a novelization. But as a game, it does not. The cinematic talking scenes aren't too bad, though some of them start to drag on too long. But the Kodak conversations can be brutal. I didn't time any of them, but some feel like they go on for about 15 minutes. It would have worked a lot better if these conversations happened as you played. As it is, it seems that you spend more time looking at little faces talking to each other than you do playing the game. People get shot, choked, have their necks broken, get sliced with swords, crushed, and fall into molten steel. Blood isn't shown most of the time, but one scene shows a lot. There are lingering shots of women's chests and butts, and one female character's outfit has a plunging neckline, which is a bad idea anytime, but it's especially bad for a sniper that has to sit still for hours in an Alaskan blizzard. There are some risque comments as Snake hits on almost every woman in the game, and vice versa. Metal Gear Solid is a very fun game. The story and characters are interesting, and it has a good replay value with 2 endings and unlockable items. The main problem is that the actual game just seems to exist to fill in the spaces around the cutscenes. If you are the type of person that skips all the cutscenes, even on your first playthrough, then this game isn't for you. Otherwise, I recommend Metal Gear Solid.